Hi there, it's Polly here. Yay, with Mr. Snoots. He's brought some friends. Yay! So, yes, I'm just on here. I'm going to go over Duck Quest. So I have the quick start edition of Duck Quest. It's a joy. You can tell it was a work of love by the designer. And, yeah, it comes from a love of ducks, let's face it. So, in the way back when, so I've been one of the original players of role-playing games from the mid-70s. Very quickly we abandoned D&D, and we abandoned D&D very quickly. Well, first because we were playing Empire of the Petal Throne, which is kind of a world I've lost now, but we played RuneQuest from the moment that came out, and it just lit up our world because it was kind of a cool, skill-driven and visceral system, but it had a quirky charm to it, and a big part of the quirky charm for me were the races that you could go. And one of those races was ducks. I loved them ducks. Yes, it was basically a cartoon duck. It's a humanoid with a bill and feathers and, webby feet. And I have consistently run ducks for the rest of my days. My favourite character is, she's over there on the wall, Linelia, the the wine swizzling priestess. And so this game has been made with a joy in those duck characters. Janelle Jacquez had done some cool work, and you might remember she did the Dark Tower D&D adventure. She did a duck version of it for RuneQuest Duck Tower, and that's kind of been the inspiration on this one. So this is a game set in Aqualunia, which is sort of the mighty world of ducks. You play ducks. Well, actually, you can play anything you want, kind of animal-wise. You could be a squirrel, a rat. You could be a goose. You could be a hoppin' frog. Whatever. Any kind of animal creature. Default is ducks, and it's a rather delightful little simple system. So you've got 5 characteristics. I like, you've got things like ugly. What's ugly? Oh, ugly is basically power, strength, fortitude, constitution, all that sort of thing. And there's kismet, which is fate, and dexterity, etc., etc., etc. When you're designing a character, you have values 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you've got to spread those amongst the 5 characteristics. One of them will get a 5, one of them will get a 4, one of them will get a 3, and a 2, and a 1. You choose. Oh, okay, so you have one thing you're brilliant at, and you have one thing at which you suck. Fair enough. You also get heart, which is your health. That's your damage resistance. You get kudos as well, which as you have your adventures, you gain more kudos. It's your reputation and your place and your legend. And there's also psyche. And psyche can be used, rather interestingly, not only as something that is a kind of a burnable characteristic. You can take psychic damage from things attacking your psyche, or from things that wear your psyche down, fear and fatigue and angst and earworms. But you can also burn your own psyche to get you bonuses on your dice rolls by hurling in the extra effort, which is actually a really interesting idea. So it works as a resource that you resource manage through the game. However, you've got to be careful, because if you do a critical failure and you have used psyche to try and fuel the success, it's a spectacular failure. Yes, you have screwedeth the poocheth most thoroughly. So, all right, kind of a cool idea there. Combat and all of the game system, really, it is a D20 system. And what happens is that the umpire can give you bonus dice sometimes. You were awarded bonus dice, and these can be used for re-rolls. And those bonus dice come from saving amazing things, meeting checkpoints in the game, making everybody laugh, doing spectacularly in-character things, etc. You gain bonus dice, and the umpire flings these about, and you can use these to re-roll stuff. Now, one of the cores of the game which I really like, it says the game doesn't have to make sense. It just has to be fun. So it is encouraging funny, lunatic, crazy, happy-go-lucky play. That is what the designer wanted, and that is what the game delivers, and it puts this all along. And you have a slew of different character kind of archetypes to choose from in there, and they're not just all stalwart, sword-wielding adventurers. There's space sleuths with ray guns, and there's cyborgs, and there's, you know, they've got everything in this amazing just array of crazy stuff that you can play. So this is entirely tongue-in-cheek, and every single page is just gag written. Like I said, it's a comedic work of love by the designer, but thoroughly playable. Straight D20 rolls, 20s are criticals, ones are ridiculous fails. Damage, you're rolling damage, armor is subtracted from the damage, and one thing I like is they're saying that you can have an armor, and that can obviously represent physical stuff that makes blows ricochet off, or, you know, absorbs damage or whatever. But as you as you complete adventures, you also essentially gain extra armor. It's plot armor. The more of a hero you are, the more your plot armor is actually protecting you from damage in the world, which I actually rather like that idea. So very sweet. There's a bunch of crazy happy-go-lucky spells in here. There's some really funny, like, magical items. Schrodinger's backpack. I love it. Just like a kind of magically non-magical thing that characters can have that, it's like, oh, did you bring the iron spikes? I don't know. You just roll a dice and see if it does happen to have, iron spikes in your backpack. I know, I might have brought them. Or maybe you didn't. You don't know till you roll the dice. Oh, have you got 60 foot of rope? Yeah, probably. Let me roll and check. Have we got enough food for tonight? Maybe. I'll see. So, yes, there's some fun stuff there. So, look, it's funny. There's not a lot to really review here because that whole core mechanic is so easy and so simple. And combat, initiative, rolling to hit, rolling your damage, armor subtracts from it. If your heart gets down to 0, then you fall down. If you go into big negatives, then you shuffle off this mortal coil and meet the choir in disabule. Is great as you go up in levels or go up in experience. You will gain more on your characteristics, and you will gain kind of extra plot armor and extra abilities and kudos. There's tons of little traits and things that make your characters really fly. You pick personality personas for your characters to give them that flavor and fun, and that's where you get given bonus dice for really playing up to those personas you've created. This is a great game. This would be a great one for doing fun one-shots for people, but also I think if you've got a group of players that just want the crazy fun, the laughs, sitting around the table, rolling the dice and having the laughs, then this is campaign material. So I know the designer is currently engaged in making like I think an A5 format version of the game, and is revising and republishing and doing this. So I'm looking forward to seeing the new and expanded edition in the new format, because I think this thing has really good bones. And the one thing that shines through in this, as I've said a couple of times already, it's a work of love, and it shows. The joy that came with making this is there on every page, and I find it to be an infectious joy. You read this thing and you're laughing along with them and say, yeah, I absolutely see why you wrote this, and yeah, I kind of want to be a part of that. It's one of those games that as you're reading, it's like, yeah, I would totally play this. Yep, simple, yep, hard, yep, good, fine, fantastic. Let's go. It's got everything you need. It's got a little rundown on the amazing world of Aquilunia. It's got bestiaries and monsters and guides to strange magic items. It's all in there in a tight little package. Do check it out. It's a scream. The duck aspect of it kind of warms the cockles of my heart, because that has a nostalgia value. We lost Janelle Jaquays recently, and so I guess every time I see ducks, I always think of good times from good times from playing games with some of her wonderful scenarios and so on. But, you know, hey, ducks forever. So anyway, do please check it out. It's a scream, 100% worthwhile. Just go find it. We hope that we see you guys around a games table sometime. And until then, look after yourselves and keep gaming. By all means, by the way, if you have indie games that you want reviewed, please do send them in to me. I'm always happy to have a look, and a big point of the channel is to make sure that people find out about these games that people like you and I make. So, all right, cheers everyone, look after yourselves, and I will see you sometime, somewhere, somewhen. Cheers.